Welcome to another LZ episode. You know, I'm gonna say a few things, so stay tuned if you like. If not, it's alright. You know, um, no pressure, but there will be many who will probably taint my intentions and describe it nefarious or something or malicious. Uh, but I'm not trying to proselytize. That's what they'll say. They'll be like, yo, he's trying to proselytize or indoctrinate people or something. First of all, you don't know me. And, to discuss such depth of a topic to a bunch of strangers, it's not something that the thing is, I don't trust nobody. I just don't trust. Maybe there was a time, and a time will come again when that will happen. But right now, I don't really put too much trust on people, man, cause I just put everything on me, what I'm capable of, and I'm a creator. I'm your Zog. Everything I say, it comes with a purpose and meaning. Anything I do, like I could just scribble some dots on a paper, and it becomes something. Like this picture, for example. So the way that I speak, right, is dope. Just imagine the way that I write. And I'm prophetic and poetic and I do a lot of rhymes and stuff. I rap. I also know how to rap. And I'm an MC. Like, I performed, I'm not gonna say, I had thousands, but a couple hundreds. I performed live and shit, and I'm the same guy inside or out. I was in prison, inside, still the same guy. Of course, you gotta be humble, man. You can't, there's a time, and sometimes I had to set examples, but we focus on the knowledge. And this picture right here, that I came out from my original prompts, it's one of my chapters, man. That's it. Long story short. It's just a picture for one of my chapters. But at the moment, I can't recollect which chapter, I just put it on. So the way that I did it, right? This is a master class. I come up with like prompts, right? Because I use the AI, right? Trying to use it as a tool to make a picture for me, I'll be like, yo, I want a picture of this chapter. So I put the chapter, right? And I'll be like, yo, I want a picture for this chapter that I wrote. Me, LZ, Lord 13. I wrote that chapter. Describe a picture that details, that gives attachment to what's been said on that chapter. And AI just comes up with this shit, And, well, first of all, it came up with the description. It didn't come up with the photo. But then that photo, I put it somewhere else in another chat box. And that's what came up with that. And I said, you know what? I'm going to use that to put it as the beginning of my chapter. The fuck? Oh, somebody. So anyway, yeah, I got several, it's a lot. It's like 28 chapters or something like that. I mean, the book is oh no, wait, this is not out yet. My bad. But it'll come out. It's soon to come out. But there's another book that's out. It has pictures too, This is from the book, The Flame of Lemnesket. Yeah, it's gonna come out pretty soon. It's in the works. But yeah, it's not out yet. I got another one though, part 2 of Lazarus. Yo, you gonna like that shit. So I wrote a book, right, called Lazarus, also available on Amazon. and another one I call Born Servitude, a Psychological Despair to Freedom. It's a long title, but I wrote that one previous to Lazarus. So Lazarus, right, is out, but I wrote another part, and that part, man, you just never gonna, you think you know where I'm going, but you don't, because then I end up changing that shit. The minute you tell me, I mean, you kind of like let me know what, what kind of, what to avoid, because you talk too much. So, if you're quiet long enough, every question that you have will begin to have its answer if all you but listen. And that requires patience, because some people overreact before receiving the answer to the question they were looking for. But many people can't do that, and they distract themselves by getting the wrong kind of answers from people who really don't know the answers themselves. And so, yeah, I wrote this book, right? It's called Lazarus. And I suggest you cop that, and spread the word, give it all the accolades and also good reviews. And if you don't understand it, give it to somebody who might understand it. Right now it's only available in English, but who knows? I might change that. I might have a translation, thing where it just gives it to you in whatever language you want. But right now, we're just sticking with the English, because that's the native, the native tongue, the number one. So again, this is just from another book. It's also coming out, but this one has to do. You know what? I'm gonna let you use your imagination, just by the picture. I'm not even gonna tell you what's it about. Although you probably could find it in some other channels and shit. Yeah, man. So, yeah, people get it twisted when they think they got like some type of hold on me and shit. Cause once I detect that shit, I change it up, man. I never let motherfuckers figure me out. You crazy? That's how I ran, the whole buildings and shit when I was in there, Some of the buildings were closed down because they couldn't keep up with my program. So they tried to program me, right? But instead I had a program for them and they couldn't handle it, Again, I'm not trying to proselytize you, but you're gonna wanna be my student or something. You're gonna be a fan. You're gonna wanna be, fawning around me, like all of that, Just don't play yourself too much, man, because, I don't like brown noses, man. I don't like, all right, man, get out of my, like, you rubbing it, you stop rubbing it and shit, like, just do your diligence. All right, that's all I gotta say, man. I said what I had to say, and forget about what's going on in the airwaves as far as, like, what you think reality is, because if you go by that, you'll be worrying about what's going on in Iran or some shit, or Russia, you know what I mean? And that shit that doesn't even apply in your life. Like, you look out the window, you probably see like some birds. You'll see a tree, you see some cars. You're not gonna see, people dying and shit. So you need to stop worrying about shit you can't control. This you gotta master, because I had to learn the hard way, and while I was in there, I couldn't do nothing. So as far as like moving forward with what the world was doing, like go on phone. This was before people could smuggle that shit, right? Like, now people smuggling iPhones, and you see inmates and shit like that recording and talking. You couldn't do that shit before, and yeah, man. So a lot of shit changed, Just make sure you following shit, cause you're gonna miss a whole lot, a lot of information if you don't stick to this, Yeah. I got people wanting an invite. What do y'all think, man? I just, I'm just speaking like independently, because like I said, I don't like. So what I was saying is, don't get distracted with all that noise. You know what I mean? You buy into the conspiracies. You'll buy into this. You buy into that. Meanwhile, you fucking got a backyard or some shit. And you could run a barbecue or some shit. And you're drinking beers or something, having a cigar. That's some people. A lot of people. Not. I don't do that shit, but I'll probably be in a jacuzzi, a hot tub or something. Couple drinks and shit, but I won't do the unless it's like plant-based stuff. But if it's plant-based stuff, you won't need a grill, Yeah. All right, man. I said enough. And remember, don't get distracted. Keep to your story. Find your voice. Only what you think matters should matter. And the one giving you the seed should be the only thing that matters, because those are the words you want to live by. And it matters, everything. And if you need some catching up, I suggest an article that I wrote on my website called what's it called? Here Goes Nothing. There we go. Yeah, look for Here Goes Nothing on my website, and it's on the article section, and you're gonna understand a little bit more about my brand and some of the depthness that I be talking about. Because right now, if you're getting it at first glance, you're just gonna get intoxicated with the vibe, but you're really not gonna understand a lot of stuff, So you should try to understand, and not judge a book by its cover, Everything, when people talk good, I mean, you go high, I go low. You go low, I go high. I know the game, man. I know the game. So when there's cold weather, man, best know there's some heat going on. And vice versa. Get it? Got it. Good. Yo, so you know what? I'm gonna try to invite all these people, right? Cause I'm getting a lot of invites, and let's invite people, right? Let's see. We got a flash go. There's a lot of people, man. Water, water, water. Look. It's too much, man. I'm gonna go with the first. Let's see. I'm gonna go on pictures. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Catch a tiger by his toe. If it hard, just let him go. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. All right. There you go. What the hell? Close. Oh, okay. All right. She got flaky. It's all good. How about this one? I don't know why it does that shit. I don't like how it's doing that, you know? Alright, maybe another time. But anyway, so yeah, thanks for tuning in, man. You know, check my book out if you haven't. Visit Amazon and just type in Lezera by LZ13. You know, yours truly. Alright, that's that with all of that.